And it brings us two talented rosters, Joe. The starting five for both squads. You see it there on screen. We highlighted that matchup between Okanwa and Brown. The tip-off between Van Sluten and Poffenbarger get underway. Maryland winning the tip here. And this conference matchup's gonna be fun. Terrapins early, it's Okanwa trapped quickly by Rashunda Jones, wearing number 1 for the green and white. Here they are, matched up. Trying to take her inside, right hands between each other, and MSU also so lucky to have Anessa Tello, as here's Rashunda Jones trying to drive baseline, but stepping out of bounds. Good on-ball pressure for a moment. The hustle between both teams eventually falling in the hands of the Spartans. Inside, Blair to Sotelo, missing the bunny down low. Poffenbarger trying to work to that right side. Cut off nicely by Jalen Brown. Here's the switch. Jumpers up and off the iron. Offensive rebound that time. Back into the zone. Nice feed by Blair inside. Van Sluten cut off though. A couple more passes. Blair trying to attack herself and grabbed on the arm. That's going to be an on-ball foul. Spartans
went for the ball. She believes she had the ball because she did touch it. Still not clean.
And two-man action from Van Sluten to Blair for 2 in the first bucket of the game for Michigan.
At number 7 in the nation in that category. Already have 3 today.
And here's a steal coming the other way. Kennedy Blair clearing the lane off the window and in. Driving inside, Okanwa cut off nicely. Quick pass out, 3 balls up and good. Big 3 that time from Poffenbarger. Joe, a big piece once again beyond the arc for the Terrapins. Here's Van Sluten trying to do it herself inside. Tough lay in. Sluten, back and forth we go. 3-ball transition, why not? Back and forth as the offense is awake, Joe.
And it's going.
Maryland sees a 5-point lead, largest it's seen tonight so far. Van Sluten answers with the turnaround J inside. So Blair on the floor for MSU, working the offense. Spartans want to find the paint early as much as they can. Here goes Van Sluten doing that exact thing. Left-hand floor. Kendall Walker recently checked in. Redshirt freshman is inside. Maryland picks up the layup on the shot clock. Skip pass, trying to find Jones. Driving inside, pull up Jay. A little too strong. Rebounded by Van Sluten. Poked out of bounds. Going to stay Spartan basketball. Zone. Quick pass over, dribble, pull up, 3-ball, up and in. Poffenbarger gets it to go in 7 minutes of play.
Yeah, done on both ends.
Here's Jones inside, Dykstra 3, that one's through. Mara, as Joe, both teams have attempted at least 3 or more threes already in this early window. Now driving inside all the way to the cup and getting rewarded. Conference, UCLA, of course, Michigan, of course. They were just here on Sunday, knocking off Michigan State in overtime as Jones trying to drive all the way inside. That size, especially with this smaller Michigan State lineup, could be an issue, but Brown takes her out of the paint and then goes into the paint. Mack looking for the cutting Okanwa, but nothing was there. Now Poffenbarger driving inside, pass to Boyko, blocking fouls called. 5 early points for Garzone. Now Brown trying to answer inside, back-to-back buckets inside for Jalen Brown. Off the screen, nothing there, cut off. Eventually finding Garzone, that's a quick trigger, in and out. Quickly grabbed for a moment it was by
there, hand checking, but they call it.
Extra pass, Dykstra, now to Van Sluten, right back inside. Good defense down low, but cut off by Brown. Trying to get it to Brown, it's stolen away. Spartans can stay with one shot if they want it. Blair taking it all the way to herself, Euro step and foul. Wrong. Now Mack, eyes up the floor, finds Garzone. Driving inside, Euro step to the left hand, that's a pretty move. And into the hands now of Brown. Eyes up the front of the floor, and now here comes Blair. Over to the short corner, Sotelo jumper, that one's in. 24 3-balls up, a little too short that time for Wilson. Here comes MSU. Brown inside, slow step up and in. Jalen Brown. Here's a long 2 that time from Boyko. Nothing there. Running the floor is Brown once again. Passes a little out in front, but the reverse lay and the touch. Up. Barger to Garzone. Quickly with it now. Garzone gets the up screen. Now
quickly pass over to the short corner, and an on-ball foul once again is going to be.
Checking is what that was supposed to be. Good call.
Now passing in the corner, driving inside. Floater game is nice that time for Walker. Now a steal from Garzone. That one, lots of contact. Fans want to foul. Here comes the Terrapins inside. Walker up again and in again. Ball still loose. Dykstra finally tracking it down. Brown, crossover, left hand, up and in. Hung on the rim for a moment, but dropped it. Barger. Here comes the Terrapins. Poffenbarger matched up against Woodard, takes her all the way to the cup, and a foul is going to be called on Woodard.
15 points, 1 steal, 1 block.
Here she is on the offensive end. One dribble, pull up, and that's through. Taken away on the short, weak side. Clean was theirs. Now here's Walker driving inside, up and in.
Michigan was overtime for Michigan State. On the other end for Maryland, they've had plenty of overtimes, going into 2 against Washington and then 1 against Iowa.
Here's McLean inside, and that one. Blair to Van Sloot. Now to Shoemate. Late closeout, and Shoemate makes some pay. A 3-ball for. Gets the screen to her right. Step back now, nice defense that time by Jones in the switch. Pull up jumpers, up, in, out, and back in for Michigan State once again, working in the half-court set. Van Sloot, right at the free throw line, takes the jumper, and that one.
40 minutes per game during that stretch are finally stepping up and helping both teams.
And stepping up and helping both teams is Walker, but helping only the. Walker sees the pressure. Ball movement goes down low. McLean inside. Bump fake and up and in.
Adds an entire new element to her defense that this team needs.
Mack gives it inside. That one can't go for Ozzy Mamadou. 10 points. Poffenbarger, light coverage, sees the defense, skip past Garzone for 3. That one too strong. Good look though for the Terrapins. With it now into the hands of Brown. Brown working to her left hand, skip pass, nice find, Shoemate for 3. By 10. Spartans been able to cut into a little bit.
Yeah, for Shoemate coming in at big time, she's got 2 3-pointers so far today.
And how about that back cut? 11 points in the evening so far. Blair sees the double screen up top, works all the way to the right hand, can't get the layup to go, but Van Slooten's there. Conwell sees the screen, has Sotelo on a string, quickly back out to Garzone, and that 3 is an answer. Conwell, quick pass over to Mack. Has the switch on Sotelo, Van Slouten. Now back out, Conwell for 3. It's another one. Half-court set, up top for Van Slouten. Weak side help comes, Van Sluten's trapped. There's 3 Terrapins. Van Sluten's got to get out of there, and a jump ball's called. Fans don't.
Not to get comfortable at any point.
Here she is, finds the cutting inside Wilson, and Wilson's able to get it off the glass, and a nice feed from Williams that to answer this Maryland offensive attack in the past couple minutes that the Spartans have seen. Quick ball movement now, Brown in the left corner, goes baseline in that first half. Here's a 3-ball up, a little too strong for Poffenbarger, but knocking it down is Williams, and also getting knocked down is Williams. Inside, Brown might have poked it away from that weak side. Here's the skip pass up ahead. Jones just over the fingertips, and Poffenbarger answers down low. Garzone trying to take Sotelo baseline, one-on-one. Turnaround jumper, that's pretty. Nice move, once it clean. Now Poffenbarger quickly zips it over to Garzone. Loose one here as Walker has a clear lane, and Blair's gonna get called for the foul. Sees the MSU pressure. Walker quickly outside, 3 balls, up and good. Everything's going for the Terrapins. Coach Freese loves it. Spartans got to answer. In the corner, Shoemate for 3. Why not? Back and forth. Michigan State, that production, and maybe you could say kind of had an off night, but here's a loose one up the floor as Van Slouten gets all the way down the other end, uncontested.
She's a true 3-level scorer.
About a 19-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Walker all the way in, 8.6. Blair with it, trying to work quickly, out to Sotelo, 3 seconds now. Sotelo inside, off the window and in. Blair coming down with the ball in her hands, looking to work quick. Back cut by Sotelo, pretty feed. Nice finish between those two.
That was pure hustle.
Now Walker trying to take the switch against Sotelo, does just that, all the way to the cup. 14 points in the ball game, now up ahead for MSU. Poffenbarger steps into one, and that's good. A money ball for Parfum, rebounded by Jones, and Michigan State comes the other way. Up ahead, Van Sluten trying to get the easy one. How about a chance for three?
Brenda Freese, you got to give her a lot of respect. There's a reason she's coached for so long, over 2 decades.
Conwa for three, rims in and out. Another rebound though for the Terrapins. It was McLean once again. Here's Blair inside, off the window, working through traffic. Spartans starting the Maryland offense, and that trip comes up empty. Blair trying to work all the way, throws up the shot, is off, but will be going to the line as well, starting to become an issue. Conwa has 4 for Maryland. Jones, Shoemate, and Sotelo for MSU with 3. And then over to Walker. Now back outside, extra pass on the corner, pull up jumper, rattles off the rim and in, foul on the floor, as you mentioned, Joe, for Maryland. Blair almost coming away with a steal there. 3 balls up and off the front iron, another offensive rebound by the Terrapins. Over pull up, that one won't go. Rebounded by Blair. Now the other way, trying to drive all the way inside, blocking foul. And now matched up against Sotelo. Shot clock down to 6. So Conwa's got to work inside, moving to her right, up and off the front iron, rebounded by MSU. Sotelo in the right corner. Skip pass. Spartans got to work quick. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Inside, Van Sluten jumper. That one short off the front iron. 5 seconds left for Maryland to work. Poffenbarger quickly back out to Walker. Driving inside, stopping on a dime. Missing the shot though, but off Sotelo and out of.
For Maryland, they've forced 18 turnovers. Looks like Sotelo is bleeding out of the nose of the ball.
And inside, Van Sluten able to, if she comes back into the game. And one completed by Van Sluten on the other end. Driving inside, Okanwa using the footwork all the way to the cup. And not look at the shot clock and shoot it 15 seconds early as Okanwa fires the 3. Why not let it fly? It's a clock. And for head coach Brenda Freese, she just has to call out a couple more sets and make sure this game finishes strong. How about the find? And Jones has to throw it all the way back to Blair. He tracks it down before it's a backcourt violation. Brown up and in for the layup. Jalen Brown late evening in this one, but it doesn't matter because Oluchi Okanwa doing everything that she possibly could for the Terrapins.